Good evening or morning, Husker fans, depending what time you're watching this show. Ethan Weiss with another edition of 4 Hours to Lincoln, special edition, tournament edition for Husker Wrestling. So I will talk about that here in a minute. I will also give a quick preview for baseball going on this weekend against New Mexico State. Should be a pretty good series there. And talk about the list of things for Friday. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about session two, a 7-2 session two, if you will. Very impressive showing by the Huskers today. We still sit in sixth place in this thing, which is crazy to me because if you would have told me we moved 7 into the quarterfinals and we'd sit in sixth place, I would think you're nuts. But that is just how good the Big Ten as a whole is doing in this thing right now. So let's jump right into it. 125, Caleb Smith. Huge upset over Luke Stanich from Lehigh. Very even first period to start this thing. There's nothing but fight for wrist control. Smith elects to choose bottom in the second and gets out before Stanich could get the minute of running time. Ensuing more hand fighting, Stanich naturally chooses bottom in the third period. With an escape from Stanich, the two men are deadlocked at 1 apiece, forcing sudden victory. Smith gets a huge upset to move on to the quarterfinals. Very impressive win. Then we move on to 133, Jacob Van D taking on Kai Orring, the third-seeded guy in this thing. Very close match, very entertaining match. Kai Orring did eventually get the win, but not without great effort by Jacob Van D. Very controversial match in my honest, humble opinion. There's a period in this match where Mark Manning threw the challenge break out there, which he should have saved for the last minutes of this thing because Jacob Van D went for a takedown that looked clean. It was on the edge and it looked very clean. The refs didn't see it. No review. Kai Orring gets away with a victory. I mean, it was a close match to say the least. Van D did take a shot a little over a minute in the match, working on a single leg. He had it in, but Oreen had a mean shin whizzer in this thing. Cancels it with an impressive first period. Cancels it with that. Jacob chooses bottom for the second period. Hitting multiple Granby rolls in an attempt to escape. Oreen was just holding on for dear life. I have never seen somebody flail so much on bottom like Jacob Van D and not ever get out. Orain just proved to be too much on top. He's a great rider for sure. He built up over a minute of riding time in that situation. Van D continues to fight but could not get out. The third period, Orain gets the escape after some time hand fighting. Van D takes a shot and appeared to have gotten a takedown on the edge. Like I said, Mark Manning threw a break earlier, and so there's just no challenge on this one. I feel like Oreen got away with that one, but still, very impressive showing by Jacob Van D. If he continues to wrestle like that, he'll easily be an All-American at the end of this thing. So moving on to 141 now. Brock Hardy taking on Sergio Lindley from Michigan. We had just about all the Michigan we can handle in this round. First of 3 Michigan guys we had to wrestle. Brock builds an early 6-2 lead after a couple of takedowns. Lindley gets an early escape to start the second period, but Brock gains another takedown. Third period, Brock gets an escape, attempts a single leg on Sergio, but ultimately gets the 10-4 decisive win. So very good demanding win by Brock. 149, Ridge Levitt taking on Graham Rooks. Ridge gets a quick 40-second takedown to start the first and works on a cradle on Rooks. Had him on his back. I really thought he had it in. Slipping up, though, Rooks gets out of it and gets an escape. Ridge, with many shot attempts and defense by Rooks, ends the period at 3-1. A second period neutral start went nowhere for both men until Levitt eventually gets the bear hug on Rooks and gets another takedown to end the period. And then a bottom start for Ridge in the third period results in a Rooks let up as he was in danger of a Levitt reversal. Another takedown for Ridge as the clock ticks 0 results in an 11-4 decision. So good win by Ridgey. Then moving on to 157, Peyton Robb taking on Will Luan, another Michigan feller. Robb fighting for position in the first 2.5 minutes and eventually increasing his attack, but still finishing the period scoreless. Luan picks bottom for the second period, getting an escape within seconds of the period start. Robb locks up a cradle. Not even 50 seconds into the match, getting back points to make it a 7-1 affair. Back at set, Luan gets another quick escape, but not without Robb getting another takedown. Starting the third period on bottom, Robb gets another escape and an eventual blast double to add on to his lead. Luan gets a late takedown, but not enough. Robb moves on to the quarterfinals. So now with 165, Antrell Taylor looking good as well. With 1:44 left in the first, Antrell gets a nice takedown to back swipes, taking control. Early 5-1 lead. Hall gets in on Taylor's leg, but an excellent defense on the edge of the mat canceled that attempt for any takedown. Taylor starts on bottom in the second period and quickly gains an escape point. Hall immediately gets in on the same leg and gets an edge of the mat takedown. Back on bottom, Taylor gets another quick escape, and once again, Hall gets in on another single leg. Taylor finds his way out of bounds to cancel that attempt. Hand fighting, Taylor gets in on a backside takedown. Hall escapes and gets a quick takedown, immediately letting Taylor up, going for another single with 15 seconds left. Taylor defends his way out of it. That was a scary match. Antrell Taylor just seemed to keep his leg exposed to him the whole time, resulting in numerous shot attempts at that single. But excellent defense by Antrell Taylor there at the end to initially take the victory. Good stuff. So, all right. Skipping 174 once again, going to 184. Lenny Pinto and Jaden Bullock set to do battle here late in the first period. Bullock takes the first shot, but ultimately defended by Pinto to end the first period. Pinto's stats on 2 in the second period, allowing, I don't know what I just wrote there, guys. Sometimes when I take notes, I get a little dyslexic, so if that didn't make sense, I apologize. Bullock gets a quick escape. Nothing else happens as a dead, even hand fight ensued for the rest of the period. Pinto naturally chooses bottom and gets a match tying escape with 1.5 minutes to go. Pinto continues to attack and gets a stall call put on him, giving Bullock a point. Pissed off Pinto said, all right, well, we'll just go in and get a shot in and get a takedown. And that's exactly what he did. Allowed nothing else and got a 4-2 victory. So I guess it just takes getting him pissed off to get a win. So at 197, Silas Allred. He takes on Andy Smith. Smith seeded 26 in this thing, and I tell you, he wrestled a lot better than what a 26 usually is, that's for sure. Nothing but hand fighting in period 1, nothing ensued. Silas takes bottom in the second period, quickly gets an escape, A minute in, a shot by Allred ended in a stalemate. More hand fighting ends the second period. Smith chooses bottom for the third and gets an escape of his own to tie things up at one apiece. Silas eventually gets in on a double and quick let up to get the 4-2 lead. Allred again goes in on a single leg, but nothing. Smith immediately gets in on a leg and nearly takes Allred down, but he hangs on to Smith's leg to take the victory after Virginia Tech threw a challenge break, and that didn't get overturned, so Silas gets the win, moves on to the quarters. So now that I think about it, there's a lot of ugly wins in the second round, but you got to win ugly to, do good things. So moving on, final match of the night, Nash Hutmacher, possibly his last match of his wrestling career, and we'll see how that bears out. But let's see, no happenings in the first period, as neither guy could find an opening. Nash starts on top in the second, but Bogdanovich quickly hits a switch for a reversal. Nash does eventually get an escape while continuing to find an opening. Nash gets an escape to begin the third period to tie things up at 2. With one attempted shot by Nash, we head into the sudden victory. Nash with one shot attempt failed as it went off the mat. I really thought he had it. I wish we could have looked at it. Mark should have thrown a brick then. Mark used to be really good with his brick throws, but he has been terrible lately. That's for another story. But then another shot attempt resulted with Bogdanovich eventually getting the takedown himself and earning the victory. So that looks like it'll be Nash's final match ever. We'll see. I wish him nothing but the best, and hopefully he has a good football year next year. So if anything else, it should get him ready for football season. So we'll need him then, and hopefully he takes a nice, well-deserved break from anything. He's a monster. Oh, shit. All right. So I did the typical white guy thing where I yawn and then they didn't say shit afterwards. So previewing tomorrow's wrestling matchups, starting at 11 a.m. So at 1:25, Caleb Smith will take on Eric Barnett from Wisconsin. And then in consolation round, Jacob Van D will take on Tyler Wells from Minnesota. At 141, Brock Hardy will take on Jesse Mendez from Ohio State, number 1 ranked guy in the bracket. Then our number 1 guy at 149, Ridge Lovett, will take on Casey Swiderski from Iowa State. That ought to be a good matchup. Then at 157, a rematch from last year's Big Ten Finals. Shit, I don't know why I keep going. Okay, so from last year's Big Ten Finals, we have Levi Haynes and Peyton Robb going at it. And the way Peyton Robb's been wrestling now, hopefully he's got some confidence and ready to come in here and take Haynes down. He about had him last year. I think he can do it. This will be a big moment for him, and he knows what's on the line and he knows what's up, so he's gonna be on it tomorrow. 165 pounds, another 8 versus 1 matchup. Antrell Taylor taking on Keegan O'Toole. Wow, I didn't see this one coming, but here it is, folks. I'm excited for this one. Antrell's been wrestling great lately, and no better way to test than the number 1 guy at 165. Keegan O'Toole is a wily veteran, and he's used to big matchups. So of course, Antrell's got a lot to work for here. So, yeah, good luck to him. That's going to be a big matchup for him. Nobody at 174 pounds, 184. Lenny Pinto taking on Trey Muniz of Oregon State. Oh, fuck. Okay. So he's taking on Troy Muniz of Oregon State. I really don't watch much Pac 12 wrestling as it is, so I really don't have any info on Troy Muniz. I've always seen his name come up, like especially during conference season and or conference championship time and national time, and he's always up in it. So Lenny's got a big test for him starting tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Lenny just seems on and off, and even when he's off, he still kind of finds a way to win. But he really needs to be on in a match like this. So we'll see how it goes. 197, Silas Allred taking on Trent Hidley from North Carolina State. All right, hopefully that's the last one. Silas Allred taking on Trent Hidley of North Carolina State. Yeah, you want to talk about a powerhouse wrestler. Trent Hidley is the man. Silas, he's of course a Big Ten champion, so it's not like he can't accomplish anything. So here we go, another tough matchup. We'll see how that goes. And then, of course, Nash is out. So that is the final wrestler for the third session tomorrow. So with that, guys, I'm going to preview baseball just real quick because I did not ever get to it. Maybe. I don't think I'm going to be able to, fellas. All right, so. No. For some reason, my words are locked, so I can't get to it. But tomorrow, this weekend, we played New Mexico State, hoping to, get another series victory against the admirable foe. So we'll look and see how we do in that. With that, guys, tomorrow it's going to be a busy day. Swimming and diving, of course, we got Gina Jorgensen and the diver Kelsey Claremont. There we go. Continuing to do things that swimmers do. Of course, Gina got 24th overall today in the 500 freestyle session, so good on her for that. Hopefully she does something big here. I can't remember what she was doing today. I might have mentioned it earlier. But then, of course, we continue the wrestling. Women's basketball, Texas A&M. Men and women's basketball against Texas A&M. That's going to be a big one, folks. Exciting times. Probably bigger than this tournament, for Husker athletics. If I'm going to be blatantly honest, hopefully the men can get that monkey up their back and get that win that we have been waiting decades for. Our grandparents never witnessed it. Our great-grandparents never witnessed it. Nobody's ever witnessed it. So, yeah, here we go, folks. Hopefully we get that win tomorrow. Women's tennis taking on Northwestern. Softball at Illinois. Or no. At home against Illinois. And for the life of me, I wish I would stop yawning. It's been a long day. Okay, so men's tennis at Michigan State. Baseball taking on New Mexico State, and men's basketball taking on Texas A&M. Like I said, it's been a long day, folks. I'm sorry. So, anyways, be back with me here tomorrow after I recap session 3 for the wrestling championships and everything else that follows. And I probably won't cover session 4 until the morning after, just because we got 2 huge basketball games, and it's going to be hard for me to keep track of everything. I'll be blatantly honest, because of course I want to watch the basketball games. So, I mean, I'll keep the wrestling on a smaller screen, but when basketball tips off, of course I'm going to try to witness history. So, with that, guys, I hope you all had a good week. Well, shit. Tomorrow's Friday. I forgot. I'm on vacation mode. So, yeah. Enjoy work tomorrow. Nobody enjoys work, but you know what I mean. Anyways, go Big Red.